Want to be smarter? Want to be fitter? Want to be wealthier? Want to be better? This is Infinite Transcendence, where life mastery meets humor and sarcasm with a blunt approach. This is the place where we talk about mastering your life without the usual feel-good aspect. This is the podcast designed for people who want useful tips and information while being entertained. So sit back and enjoy the program.
Hello again and welcome to Infinite Transcendence. Welcome to a new week. Hope the week has been great for you guys this past week. It's been interesting to me. I'll share that in my next video because I'm going to do a 3-video, not a series on one topic, but on 3 different things. My first video is going to be on a growth aspect in particular. My second video is going to be something to do with me and my own personal life. And my last video is going to be on something that's going on in the news, current pop culture, something like that, to give a variety of topics to talk about. This growth topic is going to be on the 5 types of people you should avoid. Because I talk a lot about keeping the right company, how to keep the right company, who you should associate with, what kind of people are right for you when it comes to making your life better, things like that. I talk about those topics a lot and how to be around the right people, and you want to find the right mentor, and being around the right person helps you get ahead in life because it opens you up to a new way of thinking, and being around people who are growth-minded helps you stay growth-minded instead of being around people who are going to bring you down for a variety of reasons, whether they mooch off of you too much, or they are negative, or they gossip, whatever they do. So let's talk about those people that you should avoid. The first is negative people. We all know negative people, and there's lots of types of negativity, but in this terms of negative people, what I mean is people who are constantly down. Something's always wrong. Nothing's ever going to work out right. You have a positive idea, well, that's not going to work. And I know these people myself in my own family, and even people I've had or known or come across, is they don't have anything going on in their own lives. They've never, because anybody who's accomplished a lot, why would they be negative about accomplishing things? You're on people who, they have nothing going on that they can do right, so they want to make you feel bad. You say, I want to start a new business. They say, well, you come up with a business idea. Oh, that's not going to work. That can't work. That's too difficult. That's too this. That's too that. And I know somebody like that in my own family where it's this particular person constantly negative, constantly bringing someone else down, constantly critiquing what other people do. But then you look at them, they've done nothing. They have accomplished nothing. They do nothing. They never have any ideas that lead into fruition. And I see it as a sense of jealousy and a sense of a spite to bring a person down that way. And it's not just that kind of negativity as well, but also just a person who's constantly gloomy, that has a gloomy outlook on life. Things never work out. Things are always going wrong with me. Things are never my fault in life. Why don't things ever happen the way I want them to happen? These are kind of people who, instead of making things happen and making their life the way they want their life to be, they wait for their life to get better, or they hope their life's going to get better, or they just imagine it's going to get better, and then it doesn't. And then they keep themselves in the same cycle of things going wrong and constant negativity. And that's definitely a person you want to avoid, because if you're growth-oriented, why do you want a person that's going to sap your energy? Why do you want to be around a person that has no confidence, a low self-esteem, no get up and go, to the point where they're just constantly down and dragging you down? They're constantly just it's like having a bad battery in your car. It's like it's hard to start that engine with a car that with a battery that's just weak. That's kind of like how a negative person is. They're just like a bad battery. They're like dead weight. You don't want to be around a person like that. And another person is similar to the first one, is a complainer. A complainer is another type of person you want to avoid. A person's always complaining, constantly whining. Things are, it's nothing wrong with venting. We all had days where you vent. You have something that goes wrong, you may vent about it a little, but people who just always, when you talk to them, there's always something going on. There's always something about this person or that person who did this, or this person who did that, or, this person's an idiot. Why is this person, there's always something wrong with everybody else but them. I know people like this as well. They're always talking about what everybody else is doing. They're always talking about everything else that goes wrong with somebody else, but they never focus on themselves. And to me, again, is another sign of a person who just doesn't accomplish much in life, or is a loser mindset, because the time you spend worrying about what everybody else is doing is the time you could spend making your own life better. You could be spending making your life the best it can be, but instead you're worried about what everybody else is doing, how everybody else is inadequate compared to you in your own mind. But how many people say something negative about you? How do you know? Who knows? The time you spend, a lot of times it's funny because way back when I know a lot of girls, and I have female friends and stuff in the past, and girls, they tend to get what's the word, spiteful and kind of petty. They would talk about the other girl. That girl's a skank. That girl's a slut. And it's like, they tell me this, and I'm thinking to myself, how many girls have said the same thing about you? And I don't think these girls realize that the time they spend calling other girls sluts and how they're dirty and nasty, other girls have said the same thing about them. And it's so funny because I know a lot of times I know multiple girls who can't stand each other, and they'll both say the same thing about each other. It's like you never know how other people perceive you, and you shouldn't worry about how others perceive you. As long as it's nothing to do with your business or maybe your customers perceive you, stop worrying about it and stop complaining about others. On the same token, the tiny energy you waste complaining about what others are doing wrong or how they're inadequate is just another drag to you. Another person you want to avoid is just people who are unmotivated. They don't have to even be negative or a complaint. They could just be lazy. I know people like this. They just don't really care. They have no motivation. They just want to do the bare minimum. There's different types of people who are unmotivated. There are people who just don't want to work, just want to party it up all the time, get drunk, chase girls, or have fun with guys, smoke weed, knock up their girlfriends, or get knocked up at a young age and do nothing with themselves. And then there's people like I've had old friends in the past who just love video games. They play video games all day. Video games day in, day out, the kind of people who would play till 7 in the morning and then wake up at 7 at night, and that's all they would do. It would literally get that bad. Like, there was times I would come over somebody. I had some people I knew back in the day where, like, you come over their house or go by at like 3 p.m. to see if they were up, and they were still asleep. And not because they were working night shift, because they were playing video games all day. Those kind of people you definitely want to avoid, because sloth is a trap. And the more you're around that slothful habit, the more it drags you down. It's like you're eating healthy food, and the more you start getting around people who eat a lot of junky food, they start to try to pass it on to you. And then you want to do it. Or if maybe you used to drink and now you stop, and then you try to get away from it. You hang around people who drink a lot, they're going to get you to drink, or they're going to try to get you to drink. Same thing. If people are like, you're never any fun. You're always working. Come on, man, let's go play some video games. Let's go party it up. As a person who wants to succeed, you got to sacrifice a lot to get to where you want in life. And a lot of times it means saying no to those things. Now, there's nothing wrong with having some enjoyment and some fun, but you have to balance it out. You can also enjoy yourself and have fun in ways that are more productive. And that's what these people don't understand. They see fun as unproductive stuff. Their motivation in life is to do the bare minimum to get by. And I think most people live that way. They want to do the bare minimum. They want to get by off the bare minimum. They want to do as little as possible and hope for the best and get the most they can. And that attitude, you can live off of that attitude, but you won't ever succeed off that attitude. And people like that end up being resentful when others get ahead of them. And of course, there's another person you want to avoid: jealous people. We all know jealous people. We've all been around them. There's plenty of people friends, family, your workplace, at your school. People can be jealous because they perceive you to be better looking, or you're richer, or you're this, you got a job promotion, or you're dating a girl they like or a guy they like. There's lots of people who are jealous, and people like this are the worst. In most cases, they're your own friends and family. They're not enemies, quote unquote, at school. They're not your enemies in a sense. They're people who you think should care about you the most. They're the ones who you would expect to be on your side. And there's many people I've had who I've been very close to and I've known for years. They still have that spiteful kind of attitude where they're always trying to one-up me, and they always try to beat me at things with like this subtle hint of resentment. Like, they always have to try to beat me at everything. They always have to try to one-up me at everything. They always try to find any way they can prove me wrong, or they always try to gotcha and get me at something. And it's very annoying being around people like that, to the point where I don't deal with it anymore. It's like I deal with those people as little as possible, and I don't talk to them as much, because why do I need to be around a person who's just going to try to drag me down to make themselves feel better? Instead of, and this all ties with that old attitude that we can't all be, because the time you spend worrying about what other people have, or how they look, or what money they have, or how they quote unquote got lucky, which in most cases, the vast majority of the cases, they're just looking at the end result and not the process it took to get there. They just been making their own lives better, but they don't want to make their own lives better. They would complain about other people, or they want to get resentful how those people have more than they do. You don't want to be around people like that. You don't need to be around people like that. And people like that are going to drag you down. They're going to get resentful. And sometimes there can be people who are successful, can be resentful for other reasons. Some people can be resentful because they're successful and have kids and you don't have kids. Maybe they resent your freedom. People can resent all kinds of things about you. You don't be around jealousy. And jealousy is a human trait that a lot of people have. And that people have to work on that emotion. And it's a matter of perspective, like happiness. If you worry about what others have that you don't have, you would always be jealous and resentful. Because think about it this way. Even if you're in America, or a first world country, even if you're poor or you're barely, even if you're on welfare, for crying out loud, you have a lot more. You have clean food, you have clean water, you have access to electronics and entertainment that people around the world that work many hours in poor conditions don't even have. So look at that perspective. You look at a person who has more than you do, somebody might look at me and go, well, that person has more, he's lucky. But then look at the other person who's working and barely eating, living off of less than $1 a day. Meanwhile, you get to go to a bare minimum job and do the bare minimum, and at least you get access to basic necessities and some entertainment that most people would dream of having. I see people who work basic jobs, who work minimum wage or make way less than I do, spend more money on stuff. They're buying the latest phone, the latest gadgets. I mean, it can't be. Look, I don't recommend that. but you can't be that bad off. I mean, like, I recommend you invest and save your money, but at least you can at least do that. So don't always look at what other people have and don't have, or compared to you. Look at what you have and make the most of that. Because the energy you spend on others, you can be spending on yourself. And then the last one, I will put another one. I will add another one now that I think about it. But I want to think of gossipers. Is another one. People, like I said before about complainers and negative people. This is also a big pet peeve of mine because I cannot stand gossip. I have a lot of family. I have a huge family. Now, a lot of people that just gossip. And there's so many reasons I don't like gossiping. One, it's just annoying. I don't want to hear about what other people are doing. I'm too busy trying to improve myself. I got a lot I want to work on in my own life. I don't have time to worry about what other people are doing. Now, there's nothing wrong with hearing positive news, like somebody starts a new business, somebody loses some weight. I'm fine with that. But a lot of people they'll specifically call you up. I'm sure you guys know this. They'll specifically call you up and then tell you something negative about somebody else you know. It's like, well, what's the point? Why are you telling me this? What do you have to get? And it's all a way to belittle people and put them down because these people feel so inadequate in their own lives. They have to make themselves feel better by belittling somebody else and making them feel worse or to talk about their back. And it's like, why do you need to tell me about who got knocked up by who or who went to jail again? What do I gain from this knowledge? There's not. If it was a death and a funeral, fine. But a lot of this stuff is just negative, and it's a sign of, again, it's a loser mentality. Because if you're spending your time calling others and gossiping about how they're inadequate, what can you do? And the people I know who do this gossiping are the biggest people who have nothing going on, barely getting by, barely doing anything, can barely hold a job, constantly broke, constantly struggling, but are gambling away their money, but they're talking about what other people are doing all the time. It's like, well, why do I care? And on top of that, think about it this way. If they're talking about you, what they're talking to other people about you, what are they saying about you when your back is turned? You don't know. So to me, gossiping is a sign of untrustworthiness. So that's another mindset I definitely would avoid. I think you should too. Another one I add on really quickly that I thought about it is moochers and parasites. Definitely avoid those people. But there's a lot of those. Because people, when you succeed in life, people either do two things, or maybe they resent you or they want to mooch off of you. You know, so the resentment is bad, but the mooching is just as bad. It may be worse because then they're taking what you have. And if you notice, a lot of people do become successful. Like the people who win the lottery get successful quickly because they're actors or, athletes or something. The first thing they do is like, I'm going to give my money away. I'm going to help everybody out. But you can't help people. Giving a drug addict drugs doesn't help them. If you give a person who has money problem money, it doesn't help them. I have people in the family who just always gamble, don't manage their money wisely, and then they come to you, expect you to give them free stuff. And then if you tell them no, they act like you've done them wrong, like you owe it to them to give them stuff. But it's like, where was my free handout? Nobody offered me free trips and free things. Why not? Even if it's parents or anybody. It's not about helping somebody out in need within reason, but if you plan poorly and you didn't use your money wisely, you use your time and energy treating yourself to things, and I was saving and planning and working hard and sacrificing, and now I owe you something. It's ridiculous. I don't owe you anything. And there's nothing wrong helping people out, but I don't have an obligation to just give you what I earned. If you want something in life, get out and work for it. Have your own money. Have your own savings. And that's a lot of attitude people have. And that's one that bothers me. And let me know what you think about that. I'm sure you guys know at least somebody fits into one of these categories. How do you deal with them? What do you think? Is there anything I missed? Always let me know. Like, subscribe, and Transcend Infinite. And also, again, don't forget the free ebook. It's Never Too Late, and How to Make Your Own Life Better. And the steps that are included there is completely free. And check it out. And again, Transcend Infinitely.
Want more? Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment the video and subscribe to the podcast. Want even more? Check out the written article version and subscribe to the Infinite Transcendence website at infinitetranscendence.com for new and interesting quality content. Join now and receive a special gift. Also like our Facebook at Infinite Transcendence and follow us on Twitter at Transcend_world. Keep watching and listening. See you next time and transcend infinitely.